Hope Channel, changing lives.
Hello and a very beautiful evening to you. It's another Tuesday and we are so delighted to come into your homes again. The program is Love at Home on Hope Channel Ghana. This is where we discuss issues bothering or concerning the family. So I'm inviting you and your family to join your set, to join us on Facebook, on YouTube, even on Instagram to help us discuss another very interesting and very educative topic. Today, we want to look at issues known as unknown dangers of emotional infidelity in marriage. Marriage is an interesting journey, and it is one of the greatest institutions God gave to us. Today, we have so many versions of it, and people are viewing it differently. It's really infidelity a problem in your marriage? If it is, join us as we discuss emotional infidelity. Is it really seen as cheating if one is involved in that? Do you know the dangers associated to this? If you don't, this and many more will be discussed on today's show on Love at Home. On my far left, I have a very beautiful woman. She goes by the name Mrs. Doris Ofei. Doris, you're welcome.
Thank you.
And then on my immediate left, I have Pastor Ike Donko also here. Pastor, good evening.
Good evening.
This smile is so good. And I am your usual hostess, Sophia Sewa Mansa. Let's go for a quick break. When we come back, we start the discussion. Please remember to call in your friends and also join us on 0559 680066. 0559 680066. We'll be right back. Thank you. Ben.
Eden and our umre eye. And toda, ye say mre ni adaje, ewo niema hodo a, emfamfa so emre yen we abrabo yi. Efi na kwi, men say umre no adaje, ewo niema asebi, emfamfa so emre wo abrabo mu. Eno nti, me kan fo se share me, ewo time we the CEO, ye ne adwumawura no tenase. Esua de agi nimde, efa won dwumadi a wodie ho. Ye to anamon kwa won chen, kohwe ade kra wo ye. Dwumadi a wodie kwan ofa so di no. Na fe ya ginchiremu ya penimde e de ama na de aka wo de dada wonim ne ho eno nti nyabre na hia e wo time with the CEO dwumadie so na yemfa adesua a ebeboa emrew.
Time with the CEO on Hope Business Forum, showing this and every Thursday at 8 p.m. only on Hope Channel Ghana.
FEMA Foundation at the Single Summit Ebro. Single Summit dwumadie ebaso bosumi numni da edikan ewo National Theatre ewia prem to bre ekosi enme no 9 eye kakra bi na wo betua 100 Ghana cedis pe empanifo titiri a wo bedwumedi na sibie no eye chaplain a wosan ye sofo Colonel PKN Diodu oware akosua abo aboachi a wo ye centroni Professor Mrs. Stella Apia lecturer Dr. Morris Mensah naturopath Sawunti bibia sia na wafre 024 669 5754. Emma Foundation at the Single Summit Ebro, Shannon 1st May 2025, at National Theatre, and we are from to break Eposi and Reno 9. Liwojivia said, Meshia War.
Hello, my lovely viewer. You are welcome, and I am so delighted that you waited on us. Today, we are discussing unknown dangers of emotional infidelity in marriages. Many a times, infidelity is considered cheating. Is that the case? Do we know why it happens? Are there things that we need to be the watch out? This is what we want to discuss today. As you join me, let me start straight with you. Auntie Doris, we know of physical, or we know infidelity. What is infidelity?
Infidelity is where one goes or cheats on the spouse,
Okay.
or yes, a partner. So you go in for another person, and then you do all that married people do behind your spouse. Yes, that is infidelity.
Okay.
And that's the physical infidelity.
Infidelity.
Yes.
All right. So we are saying we have emotional infidelity. In that case, what is emotional infidelity?
Thank you. Emotional infidelity is different from that of the physical one. So emotional infidelity, we can say, is when a partner is in a relationship that forms a deep emotional connection with somebody else, and it is outside the normal relationship, or it's outside the relationship of your spouse, that person's spouse, and it leads to feelings of intimacy. There are secrets that are being shared, and then there is dependency on the other person. Instead of you sharing secrets with your spouse, sharing intimacy with your spouse, it goes to the other person, though they don't have physical intimacy like the physical
Infidelity.
Yes.
All right. Pastor, what do you have to say about this whole thing?
Well, that is a reality. When we talk of infidelity, like she rightly said, we have the physical one, which is normally a sexual infidelity, and we have this emotional infidelity. We can go on and go on to even talk about romantic infidelity, intellectual infidelity. You can even many other things that will take your attention from your immediate family or your wife, your spouse, to the third party who is not your spouse. Okay, and you begin to develop strong, emotional connection with that individual. It all begins as friendship. Okay, sometimes you do not have any intention of getting, that is the reality. So you begin as friends, and day by day the friendship deepens and it develops into the next stage. So when it's morphed into emotional friendship, then many things will be happening that will be detriment to your immediate family. Okay, so maybe as we get into it, we will dive into those things that will happen when you have this emotional infidelity. But the most important thing that we need to note is that many people do not know that it forms part of infidelity.
That was going to be my next question. Yes. So in your experience, how often do we hear issues like this?
Yes.
I just want to know how often or how the problem is now.
Yes. For now, it is so prevalent. Seriously, most people that will come for counseling will be reporting of infidelity, most of which are emotional infidelity, even though they don't term it emotional infidelity. But from where I sit, because of the knowledge in counseling, you just situate it within that bracket. But there are many people today who are challenged emotionally. They are dying inside. Some do not know what to do. Some have complained, and the other partner, their partners, do not even want to admit there is a challenge. Some will brush over it because, what is it? What do you need that I don't give to you? So why do you have to worry? And blah, blah, blah. But the other party is dying inside. So these are conditions that people go through today, that many people that come, you cannot take away this emotional infidelity. And that is why personally I think it is very important we talk about it and also deal with it, so that people out there will know how to manage it when they face these challenges.
Thank you. Now, Auntie Doris, Pastor mentioned some conditions. What are some of these conditions that people normally report on, that their emotional needs are not met, that because of that you have to find it somewhere else?
Thank you. Most of the time, though, now when you look at what is going around, people are stressed out, yes. But imagine a spouse coming home and even greeting is difficult. You face the challenge at your workplace, and then you can't even get somebody to talk to when you get back home. You are not well. Nobody asks whether you are well or not. When it happens like this, we are emotional beings. So, of course, the person might be looking for somebody to at least vent out whatever is happening inside, to get a consoling word or two from that person. But in the house, there's nothing. And with a marriage relationship, we are supposed to share. Nothing happens. We don't even crack jokes at home. Everybody is stressed out and all that. When it happens, yes, if you are not careful, whoever smiles at the person suffering will get the attention, and then it will develop like that.
Okay.
Apart from that, whenever things happen at home, even challenges with our children, as a couple, we need to sit, discuss, nothing. And unfortunately, in our Ghanaian setting, at times, one of them, mostly the woman, they will complain, and then there's trouble. Why do you have to complain? I think Pastor mentioned, why do you have to complain? You get all your needs, so why are you complaining? And then the person will just keep quiet. But unfortunately, if it's in you and it pens up for some time, it will come out. Who am I to talk to? Who should I look up for a smile, for a kind word? All this, if it's not coming, then if you are not careful, the one who gets into your way with just a little smile or something, that person will get your attention, and it will develop, and it will get into this situation that we are talking about.
All right. Okay.
Yes.
Now, so Pastor, you mentioned earlier on that I give you money, I put food on the table, I provide shelter,
sure,
I provide everything that you wear. What
and
are you looking
babies.
for? What are you looking for? So now I'm asking you, what are they looking for?
Right.
What are human beings looking for? So we are saying these provisions that you mentioned are not enough. What else are we looking for?
So, the whole problem stems out from the fact that most men look at marriage from, indigenous perspective. Those days, many of the married men still want to see marriage in that order. But the reality is that marriage in today's life is not the same as yesterday.
Because culture is dynamic.
That is the reality.
All right.
Now, before now, our forefathers had the external system of family where you marry and bring the wife into the bigger family. So, to the man, his duty is to provide all the physical needs, including babies, to the woman. Okay. In those days, they did not consider emotions as a need. they did not consider them as a need. In fact, even if they had emotional needs, they did not know, and even if they knew, they could not express those needs. Okay, so in the family system, the man, because his family is all around, okay, get attention from the family members. So emotionally, the man is better off than the woman
who has been brought into a new
settlement.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we have a modern trend where we believe that family is the unit comprising the man, the woman, and the children, and the extended family is really a second family. So now we have come face to face
with the reality,
yes, where individual emotional needs needs to be addressed. Okay, so now the man still want to find a solution of addressing this need outside the family. Most men, let me use that word. Okay, so you see that emotional and challenges affect women more than men proportionally. Okay, if you look at it, women are so much affected than men, because men will always want to find that support from significant others. Okay, whereas the woman is expected to be home and be struggling, and the man attention will not be there. But to the man, he thinks that you did not need anything. He didn't even see the emotional aspect of it. But I tell you, whether we see it or we do not see it, it is the major challenge now confronting many marriages. So that if you are not addressed, if they are not addressed well, those who are not expressive to talk about it, they harm themselves, and that is it. Some end up, breaking down and cannot, beyond repair. Let me use that word, beyond repair. Some will even end up dying at the end of the day. Okay, but those who are able to express it, you could see that the people need attention in their family, and yet this attention is given to people outside the family circle, and that is where this infidelity come in here. But tonight, I think that men out there, women out there, we need to see the reality. We need to accept the fact that if we believe the family is one most important unit that prepares the individual to face social life, to face the reality in this life, then of course we must be ready and prepared to take care of all the needs. If I link it to scripture, I see that scripture is more of even updated than our culture. Let me say so, because when God said it was not good for man to live alone, it was not good in terms of emotions. It was not good physically. It was not good, spiritually. It was not good in all aspects of life for a man to be alone. So if somebody is coming to your life, it means that emotional needs, physical needs, and sexual needs, and social needs, and spiritual needs, everything must be taken care of. There must be a balance in this. And we need to know this and be very conscious and intentional about them, so we will be able to treat our partners with fairness so that we can grow and develop to the glory of God.
Auntie Doris, as counselors, do we counsel people on this topic when they are entering into marriage?
We are supposed to do that. But we normally look at other things and we leave this emotional need.
Because of the traditional mindset.
Because of our traditional mindset. Because, yes, what you need, you'll be taken care of. And then when we get to church, the pastors will say, love your wife. Women, you to submit to, and that's it. Love. What does it entail? And I believe taking care of the emotional needs of the woman or your partner is part of it.
So this emotional needs we are talking about, are people aware of these emotional needs we are talking about? Because if you are not aware, I'm wondering how somebody can give it to you.
Exactly.
All right.
That's true. Culturally, just like Pastor mentioned, we don't look at these emotional needs. So whoever goes to marries and then look back at what
his or her parents were
doing, and then you follow suit. That's it. So my father always put money on the table and leaves. Comes back home, there's food, he eats, he enters the room, and that's it. My mother will take care of the children and all that. If somebody is hurt, even reporting to daddy, the child might not even know. So all that I know is my father takes care of the house by giving money. It's my mother. You don't know what goes beyond that. So when I also get married, that is what I would do. But now that we are bringing all these up, and now people are enlightened. We are now entering into another trend of having our families together, having the nuclear family, and then taking care of ourselves. So we don't expect that we have to go back and then visit what our parents were doing. We need to, just like culture is dynamic, we need to change our ways and to suit today's era. Era. So that's it. So now, I believe that even counselors, married counselors, should also try to make people understand. Of course, you go, you'll be taken care of. But it's not only physical, it's not only sexual. Your emotional needs must also be taken care of. What are they? And then we need to enumerate them for them to know that, and understand that it's not only the physical needs that should be taken care of, but the emotions of the person should also be taken care of. At least taking time to look at your spouse, to talk to communicate well for the spouse to know that, I didn't know that when you are quiet, it means this. Or your facial expressions means that, so I have to sit and then talk to you to know what is wrong, and then we solve the issue. So all these things should come. It's not only about the physical.
Now, Pastor, how damaging is this is this emotional needs we are talking about as compared to the physical? How damaging is emotional infidelity as against the physical infidelity?
So you see, before we talk about the impact and how it damages relationship, we need to know the extent to which this infidelity, affects the entire family, or exactly what it is. Okay. For instance, we said that, you see, somebody is developing a strong emotions with someone outside the marriage. Now it begins with friendship. Now it's evolve into strong emotions, and then what happens? So you begin to see that the individual who is seeing another person outside the marriage begin to spend much time with that individual at the detriment of the spouse. Okay? Now, you begin to have contact with that individual more than your spouse. You sit at work, you pick your phone, the many calls that you make is different person instead of your wife or your husband. And then when you begin to share, you text, sometimes you send videos and what have you get distracted. And then your mind is occupied by this individual that we are talking about. Okay? Now, not just that, it can lead to the extent that you if you do not even see the person face to face, you don't feel comfortable. You don't feel comfortable. Now you begin to see in that person many good things than your wife
or your partner.
Your partner. It could be a woman as well. Okay? And now you begin to see yourself more compatible, that you have common interests, you have things in common. Not necessarily you are having an affair, in sexual affair, but you begin to see that you click, you glue with that person more than your partner. When you get to this stage, then of course your communication with that individual will move from the normal communication into personal, information that needs not be shared with another person. Then you begin to tell the person, because you begin to build trust with that individual. Now you can tell the person anything that you want to tell the person without any challenge. You don't see anything wrong with it. You go on, and you begin to share family secrets. And you begin to share your wife's weaknesses or your husband's weaknesses to this very important. And then that is where you begin to damage your own marriage. Now, when it comes out for your partner to see that this is happening, one, it will bring distrust. Hate, of course, will come. Somebody who has built his or her, a trust in you, and all of a sudden, you begin to keep a distance. Okay? Apart from that, you will get to know that the individual concerned will have guilt, because I'll keep on pressing. So when you become aware, guilt will set in. Okay? And sometimes you get to a level where things get bad, you have remorse. Sometimes you get to that level, not always anyway, but sometimes you get that. In fact, it can really wreck your relationship and affect even your children. Not only the spouse, can affect the children, because the quality time that you need to have with your family, is taken away by somebody else's. Okay, so one, they are denied of your time, denied of sometimes resources. You begin to channel resources to the other person and deny them of that. Now you begin to like she said earlier on, compare your spouse with this person, and do you think the person will feel good, will feel hurt? Okay, and then you begin to make references. Okay, some of these people could be ordinary friends, they could be even your exes, somebody you have had contact with before. Now you are not having any contact, but you think that you need to sympathize with whatever it is. All these things create serious challenges, and then the person feels that you are cheating on him. Some call it emotional affair. Okay, and you see that you are cheating on the person. So the same reaction that somebody who is physically being cheated, the same response will follow when it is emotional, like we're discussing.
Yes, and Doris, you want to add something to it?
Yes, just like Pastor said, this thing, it begins just like, at times that person might not even be your friend.
Sure.
You meet in a bus, you discuss something. Oh, are you interested in this? Oh, yes. Oh, that's it. You exchange numbers, and then it happens. Somebody, your neighbor, your work colleague, and all that, that it develops, and it takes time. Before you say Jack, you have developed into a serious relationship that every morning you have to call, and even evenings when you are with your spouse and children, you will be texting. Maybe something is, maybe it's a soap opera that the person enjoys, you also enjoy. Your husband would want to, or your spouse would want to watch football. You are not interested, but this person is interested in this thing that you have. So you start chatting, and then it will go on and on that it will get to a point where you can't stop. That's where the seriousness comes. You will not be able to stop. And if you don't even hear from that person, you begin to feel like, oh, then I'm losing this important person, a significant other. And that's it. So you wouldn't even be bothered about how your spouse is feeling. And at times you even mention the person's name. Oh, he's only a friend. She's only a friend.
Sure.
Yet, what is going on is beyond friendship. So the other person, your spouse, will get jealous. Oh, what is going on? And why are you, at times you'll be in the washroom and there will be a call from this person and you have to rush. Even your spouse will call and you say, oh, wait, I don't. And it goes on and on and on. Before you are aware, you are gone already. Your mind is gone. Everything is gone. And you start sharing secrets and all that. And the worst thing is that because of this, you will feel guilty.
Remote, yeah.
Guilty. Because, then why is it that this time round, the person called and you didn't want to receive the call in presence of your spouse?
Yeah.
It means something is good, because there are certain things maybe you talk about that you can't even talk about it with your spouse, in front of you or with your spouse. And when it happens like that, of course, your spouse will be jealous, will be hurt. Why? Is it that this person can call you and the way you even rush to pick, when I call you, you don't do that? That's the beginning of the disaster.
Yes, that is the beginning of the disaster. We've taken in so many things, and I'm sure you are taking down the notes. When we come from break, we would want to know how we can reduce, most probably to stop, if you have started. And if you haven't started, how you can do so that you will not enter in at all. Let's go for a quick break. Remember to join us on a discussion on 0559-680066. 0559-680066. We would love to hear your comment on this issue. We'll be right back. Thank you.
FEMA Foundation at the Single Summit Ebro. Single Summit Jumedie Ebaso, Bosumi Numnida Edikan, Ewa National Theatre, Ewia Prem to Great Ecosi and Reno 9, Eyaka Krabina Ubetia, 100 Ghana service a pay, and penny 42 or Bedumedina Sibiano, Eye Chaplain, our science software, Kenol, PKN2, Owari Akosia Abo Abwaji, our Yesentroni, Professor Mrs. Stella Apia Lecturer, Dr. Morris Mensah, Naturopath. So want to be our friend 024 669 5754. Emma Foundation at the Single Summit Ebro, Shannon so 1st May 2025 at our National Theatre, Area from to Great Ecosi and Reno 9. Liwo Jivia say, Messia War.
Aho, ahoa, aho, ahoa. I greet you in the name of our Lord and personal Savior Jesus Christ. I come to your homes once again via your Hope TV channel, your preferred Christian TV station, to share with you some amazing and inspired words, of the Lord. Under the theme, the marksman's target. Who is a marksman? And what is that target we are talking about? We are all marksmen in this life. And then what is our target? Join me, let's explore these inspired messages, and I believe that you'll be blessed. Share the link, tell a friend to invite a friend, and we shall be blessed.
Soldier of the Cross, showing this on every Sunday at 7:30 p.m. only on Hope Channel Ghana.
It all started in a small upper room with
Hello, you are welcome. Thank you so much. The program is Love at Home on Hope Channel Ghana, and we are grateful that you waited on us. We are discussing unknown dangers of emotional infidelity and marriage. We've said a lot, things that we are aware of, things that gradually, just from liking somebody, getting a contact, then it lands us into problems. This is what we are discussing. Now, Auntie Doris, you've told us how damaging this can be. If I have seen that I have started, I'm going bit by bit, I've started liking this person, oh, he's checking up on me, oh, how are you? Then we are giving feedbacks and all that. From time to time, you'll be talking, we are going out for lunch and all that. And I realize I don't like it. Where it is going to, it may land me into problem. Is there any way I can revert? I want to revert.
Yes.
What can I do?
You can. And it all begins with you knowing that where I'm going, it seems I'm heading towards disaster. If you don't realize this, then you will sink deep. But the moment you realize this, then you look at how close you've been with the person. And then, you get back home and look at what is wrong at home. That is making you go in for another person's attention. Is it communication? If it is communication, please find time. Sit your partner down. Communicate. I'm not getting this. It seems we lack that. Please let us address it at the right time. Let me bring that at the right time. You don't start shouting, you don't even take care of me. You don't even listen to me when... No, if you do that, there will be trouble. But communicate effectively.
Okay.
And then set boundaries for the one that you are having that affair with. Yes, when you go to the office, you have to call. The moment you sit on your chair, you call. How are you? How is the day? What are we doing today? You reduce it and gradually you stop. Let the person also know that no, I don't have much time. I need to have attention at home because things are not going well at home. So if you don't hear from me, it's not that, it's because I need to have time for my family. Set boundaries. There are certain things you do together, stop it. It's difficult. At times, even confronting the person that, oh, now I want to do this, is very difficult because if the person withdraws, you might think you will not get what you were enjoying. So, but you need to stand firm if you want to save your marriage. And then you build a strong foundation for yourself at home. Foster trust. If your spouse gets to know this, there wouldn't be any trust anymore. So now try and work at your relationship so that you can rebuild your trust, and then you'll be able to go ahead. So you communicate effectively, and then you maintain healthy boundaries between you and the significant other, and then you prevent anything that will make you go back to what you've been doing. Let the other person know that you can't go beyond what you've been doing again. And if possible, just stop. Stop. You'll be fine. Come home. Relate well with your spouse and then your children, and you'll be fine.
Be fine.
At times, it's fear. He doesn't even talk to me. Is this person who gives me attention? If I stop, what will happen? But if pray and then start, and you'll be fine.
Well, so as we keep on praying and we are sure that we'll be fine. Pastor, what do you have to add to this?
You see, it is very true.
When you say you see, and I can imagine what is following.
Today it is cool. It's very, very cool.
All right.
You know, when you don't know,
yeah, you don't know,
and you don't know that you don't know,
you don't know, then you don't know.
And G. White in the Bible commentary says that you are a fool. But if you don't know, and you know that you don't know, you are a wise person. Okay? Most of us who are involved in this do not know or accept that it is a problem. We need to begin to accept the fact that anything that takes us away from our partner, be it emotionally, physically, psychologically, and spiritually, is not right. We need to begin to accept that. Now, when you get involved in this and you accept that it is not good, it is one step of victory.
Okay.
Number 2, it is like addiction. And the same treatment for addiction will be applicable to this very one. It cannot be achieved one day. You will have to go through a process. Okay? Gradually and gradually, limiting yourself gradually, and then you will get there. You know, what I also want us to know is that those who go through addiction therapy, there is one important thing that gives them power. They have a statement that every morning they recite. Okay? And that statement, I'm paraphrasing, I can't quote it verbatim, that we accept that we do not have power within us to overcome the situation we find ourselves in. But we believe there is a higher power that can help us. So we submit to that higher power to support us, because in general counseling we don't want to use God because
not everybody believes in God.
Everybody believes in God. But right here I can confidently say that that higher power is the power of God. Okay, so when you accept and you believe that it is not good, you get that support, which is the higher power, to be able to set boundaries, and gradually you are out of it. Okay. I want to state that this situation can also be enhanced if the cause is a problem from the house. Then of course you have to look at the challenge that really brought about this situation. Okay, so there are some that it is just habitual. There was any problem in the house, the person just went outboard or off board. But if there is a problem in the house, until that problem is fixed, you still find it very difficult to cooperate. Okay, or else I'll use the counseling term, you have a relapse. you try to come and then you still go back, or you find another person who is attractive and can be incongruent with your thought and what have you. So dealing with the challenges in the house is also one area of helping. Now, when we have what we call triangulation in counseling, okay, when the two of you are unable to deal with it, you seek for professional help.
For that.
So we call it triangulation. Don't get a third party who will worsen your situation. Look for a professional. Talk to a professional for help, because you have admitted there's a problem. And once you take this step, I can assure you that you will be able to overcome it in a very gradual process. Okay, so that is the steps that you need to take in order to overcome this very situation. But you see, a sin committed in a secret place is so sweet but the end result is so terrible. It's so terrible.
Yeah.
So I want to tell my friends out there to know that yes, you are you are getting fun from other people. It is wrong. Your wife is home, you cannot laugh. I mean, with your wife, you go out there, you see another woman, and you talk, laugh, and as if that person is coming from heaven. It is wrong. Okay? Your husband, you cannot see eye to eye with your husband, but you can talk with your pastor. You go to church, you see your pastor behaving. An angel has just fallen from heaven, and you behave that way. You are a hypocrite. Okay? You need to begin to see your partner that he is the only one, for the best person God has given unto you to support you emotionally, to support you physically, and support you in all aspects of life. So if you fail to give attention, then of course you create a serious problem for everyone, and including your children, like I said earlier on. So we need to seek for help, divine help, professional help, and be intentional that we want to quit when we have knowledge that it is wrong.
Okay. Now that we have accepted, somebody would ask, what are some of the common factors that usually lead people into this act?
I think we have mentioned a few. Yes, those factors are that you need attention. That's one, and you are not getting.
Lack of attention.
Yeah. You need to have maybe somebody to confide in, and you are not getting because your spouse seems not to
be available.
Be available is one. Not to even recognize, because there are, especially women, to communicate our feelings at times is tricky.
Yeah.
Yes. I will frown my face, you might think I am angry, but maybe I'm sick. You see. So we are not able to communicate well, and then your spouse too is also not not able to understand what is going on. Oh, you are too much, but that's not it. That's also a point that a factor. And there are other factors like not being able to listen. Listening attentively to issues. We don't have those things. All these factors boils out to people going into or getting themselves into this being friendly at home and all that. I think that's it. So we need to have discussions. We need to pay attention. We need to be there for ourselves. If all these things are not coming, remember, emotionally, people would want to go out to get some of these things for ourselves because we are emotional beings, and then we need to get connections, and it is only from the home. So if we are not getting from home, then it means if we need fulfillment, that is how we say it, we will just derail and then get into trouble.
Now, Pastor, somebody just sent me a message. He says that he has not slept with a woman. So why are you saying it is cheating? To him, it is not cheating. And then when you sleep with another person, then you are cheating. How can you? I know you've said this earlier on, but I want you to come again because the person has asked.
He has cheated on the family time, the time that you need to have with your family, your wife, and you are spending that time with the other person. You have cheated as far as time is concerned. Now, after cheating on their time, you have also unnecessarily, cause pain into the family by wondering what is happening. Okay. Again, I want to also draw his attention to the fact that when you are emotionally attached, the Bible talks about the fact that infidelity does not only come from the act or activity, but when you are, your mind is soaked into it, you would have been better you do it than having it in your mind, because you are going to get the same reward. Okay, so there is no way you can justify this infidelity. But the point I wanted to make is that, you see, when we talk about the infidelity, we look at people out there. But do you know that it can even be family members?
Okay.
In fact, when the Bible talks of loving one another, I have always expanded the word love because of my Greek background.
Okay.
Because the Greek mind of the word love has about 7 of them.
Okay. Interpretations
Yes,
of the word
of love.
Okay.
Out of this, one is philia, which is friendship love. What do you do in friendship? We communicate, help one another, so that when you marry and you say you love your partner, okay, it behoves on you to transfer the activities that you have or do
As
in friendship to your partner, so that if you fail to befriend your wife or your husband, if you fail to communicate well, if you fail to have that friendship environment, you have failed in your marriage and you cause infidelity. In fact, the next aspect of love is in Greek we call storge, S-T-O-R-G-E. It's a family love. If you translate it, family love. Family love also means that God knows that we have attachment with families. Therefore, he says, a man should leave his wife, a mother and father, and cling to his wife. And in Psalm 45, verse 10 and 11 also says that the woman should also forget his people, so that the king will admire her beauty. So the reality is that when you marry, you must also get detached from family members, so that you will be able to provide these emotional needs.
Okay.
There are people who spend all their time with their parents at the detriment of their spouses and their families.
All in the name of
In the name of
I respect my
mother,
parents.
I respect my mother. But your mother is there. Your mother couldn't provide that emotional, and you went for somebody's daughter. Why do you want to traumatize that person? And that is immaturity. Okay? And that is why I'm saying that we need to seek knowledge. We need to begin to accept the fact that today, that we believe that marriage is the nucleus one first, before the second one. Whatever we have to do to spend quality time with our family, to spend our quality income on our family instead of other persons, spend spiritual nourishment with have spiritual nourishment with them. All these aspects needs to be taken care of very well. So I'm trying to draw the point that we need to understand that people around us, doesn't mean that we cannot make friends. You can have friends, all right, but when you begin to engage in a friendship at the detriment of your family, that is when it becomes infidelity.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you can have friends, but there must be boundaries. A clear, spelled out boundaries. That when it is time to be home, you be home. You can't stay at work in the name of whatever. Come home, spend time with them. Whatever you need to give and support, do that, and then you build that family and develop it, and the problem is resolved.
Thank you. Auntie Doris, help us to set boundaries. Yes, Pastor has mentioned setting boundaries. I'm sure somebody is saying, you are talking about boundaries. How do I set the boundaries so that I don't fall into the ditch?
how do we set boundaries? Yes, we are workmates, colleagues. I can't just come and then be talking to you using certain words, flirting with you, let me put it that way. No. Knowing very well that you are a married woman, I can't do that. But if I give you the opportunity to do that, you come, you put your hand around me, and then you flirt with me. So if you are having a friend at work, let the friend know that, oh, this is where you can get to. There's a saying that somebody's independence ends here at the tip of your nose. Of course. You can't go beyond here. So let people know. So that if somebody is approaching you, the person would know that, oh, as for this lady, no, these words you can't use. But sometimes we play, and then there are certain things, somebody will say it and you'll be ashamed. Why this? Oh, okay, let's go here, and then you follow, forgetting that you have a family at home and you have to go home early. Everything's, oh, okay, it's okay. Singles are going, they are going to the bar, they are going to club, they are okay, and oh, it's okay, let's go. You are not setting boundaries, so they know that, oh, as for him or as for her, everything goes. But no, you have your responsibility at home as a married person. Carry yourself well, so that whoever is coming to you, whoever you met, whoever you discuss things with, would know that, no, this is a no-go area for this person. So if you do that, whoever comes close would know that, I can't go beyond this with this lady or with this gentleman. Let the person know that I have a family at home. I have my husband. I have my wife. They are here. I don't want to go beyond this. And if you are strong enough to start, please don't call me. When you begin friendship, it happens. At times they will call you in the night. No, please. When I get home, I'm home with my family. Please don't call me. If we have anything to discuss, when we come to work, we can discuss it. It's also a healthy boundary.
Okay.
I'm not fighting with you, but I don't want to go beyond that.
Okay. Now, Pastor.
Yes.
These emotions or feelings that sometimes you get for an outsider and somebody not your partner, are they always in perpetuity? I mean, are they always there like that, or at a point they go off?
You see, it develops. Relationship develops from one step to the other. In fact, if you continue, you will be surprised that you have physical infidelity.
Yes,
Okay.
If you persist, before you know it, you will not even plan it, because you have built the relationship to the point that it will happen unaware. So it is so dangerous. All right. But you see, in solving this problem, you see, somebody, when you begin to see that...
You use this as your final advice to us.
When you begin to see that, you talk about things 1 hour on phone. What at all do you have to speak with a friend 1 hour, 30 minutes? What do you have? Then you speak with your wife 1 minute, and that is all. However, we have said all this that it is so bad. Men and women take charge and be very careful, because it is so detrimental. However, my dear brother, my dear friend, who is going through this trauma, your husband is being unfaithful, or your wife, I just also want to say that you can heal yourself. Even though the problem is there, you can heal yourself. You don't have to die out of emotions. Yes, the pressure will be there to be traumatized, but I can assure you, this feeling of, loneliness, my husband is not there, what have you, they are internal. Begin to feel positive that with or without my husband, there is something I can do. Whether my husband, my wife changes or not, God is still able to take care of me to overcome this challenge of feeling of emotions and this infidelity issue. You need to sack yourself whilst the person is changing from the situation, you have to sack yourself so that even if the situation doesn't change, you will not die out of it. You can get better.
Yeah.
You can manage it. Okay? You can be strong and be healthy even in the midst of all these calamities. Right. And that is what God promised us, that I'll be with you even in the what? Valley of the shadow of death.
Yeah.
He will be with you and he will help you to navigate through. So my dear friend, don't worry. Yes, the problem is there, but be strong and give positive interpretation to whatever is happening to you, and God will be your support. Thank you.
Auntie Doris. 1 minute, your final advice to us.
So this infidelity, you asked of factors. There's this personal factor that I want us to look at: low self-esteem.
Okay.
We have to be very careful, especially with our ladies. You can, just like Pastor said, you can do more for yourself. Of course, your husband is doing all that, but you, what are you doing for yourself? Get something to occupy yourself, not to get yourself involved with another partner. You wouldn't know where that relationship will also take you to. But you improve upon yourself. Find something doing so that you'll be engaged. Something positive.
To preoccupy
your mind. Do all that you are supposed to do as a wife, but make sure you can even study so that you get something positive for yourself.
All right.
So that you don't fall into that, because you will depend on somebody, but tomorrow you will hurt yourself.
Yes, all too soon our time is up. I'm sure you've taken in few things that is going to help you. I noted a lot. Let me share some with you. I had a need for certain boundaries, healthy boundaries, and then also communicating effectively. The knowing and accepting that emotional infidelity can wreck my marriage. Then, when you know that there is a supreme being who oversees the affairs of all men, then go to him in prayer. And he's so willing and ever ready to welcome you, my son, my daughter, come to me, because I will give you rest. Until same time next week when we come into your homes again with another interesting topic. This has been Love at Home on Hope Channel. I am Efia Sewa. Good night. Bye-bye.
Hope Channel, changing lives.
A very good evening to you and to your family, and welcome to another time on the evening devotion. Tonight, may I ask you to take your Bibles as we read God's word, and we'll read in Exodus chapter 32 and verses 31 and 32. Exodus chapter 32, verses 31 and 32. Let us hear the word of God. Then Moses returned to the Lord and said, "Oh, these people have committed a great sin and have made for themselves a god of gold. Yet now, if you will forgive their sin. But if not, I pray, blot me out of your book which you have written. Moses, realizing the terrible enormity of the sins of the Israelites and worshiping the golden calf, actually put his own eternal life on the line for their sakes. How many of us can actually do that? To be willing to sacrifice your life so others would live. The history of the Asante Kingdom tells of a period in which they were ruled by the Denchira people. They gained their freedom at the Battle of Feyasi, where Intim Jakari, the Denchira Hene, was killed. History tells us that this freedom was at a great cost. For the Asantes to be victorious in this war, they were required by Okomfo Anochi to sacrifice 3 men. One will be buried alive, the second will be butchered to death, and the third, a paramount chief, was to be killed in the battle without firing a shot. Thus, Nana Asenso Kofo, chief of Ejumkasekesi, was buried alive. Nana Dikopim I, chief of Edresum, gave himself up to be butchered to death. And Nana Chinebu Akodia, the paramount of